During the summer of 2000, I traveled to Beijing with my father. It was the summer I was 12, and it was my first time in the city. Our itinerary that day included a visit to Beihai Park. Shortly after we entered, we heard that the park was closed, with only exits permitted. We learned that it was Russian President Vladimir Putin's first visit to Beijing, and he had added a last-minute stop at Beihai Park to his itinerary. Curious, we followed the crowd to catch a glimpse of the new president, and we saw President Putin by the lake in Beihai Park. Because I was short, I climbed onto the stone railing to greet him and wave. When he was about to leave, he approached me. He stepped out from a group of security personnel, walked towards me, picked me up off the stone railing, put his hand on my shoulder, and then we had a photo taken together. I still have a very clear memory of that scene. At the time, I felt like there was a whole wall of camera flashes. Then, as Putin was leaving, I vaguely remember that he seemed to say something in Russian before he kissed me on the forehead. As a child, I didn't have a clear understanding of the celebrity. When I look at this photo now, I must have been a little nervous. The whole wall of camera flashes dazzled me, so I had no idea who President Putin was at the time. At that time, it was rare for a Chinese child to receive a kiss from an adult, so the impression Putin left on me was that of a gentle and kind uncle. At that time, my relatives, friends, and family all thought I was a lucky person. Without any arrangements, I was able to take a photo with Russian President Putin and have such an opportunity for close contact. It was like being chosen by God. This photo planted a seed in my mind at the time, sparking my curiosity about Russia and President Putin. It drove me to be curious about Russia as I grew up, and I also learned and understood a lot about Russia. This process deepened my interest and yearning for Russia. Of course, it was also because of these accumulations that I finally took the initiative to submit an application to study in Russia. My life has changed dramatically. Since the media began searching for me, I've received the most phone calls ever. It's also the first time I've accepted so many interviews and media coverage. I've also received a lot of attention and well wishes from colleagues and friends. I would like to warmly welcome President Putin to China again and wish him a successful trip. Of course, every time I see President Putin on TV, I hope to have the opportunity to meet him again.